Try one more time. One more time. There we go. There we go. Now we up and healthy. Let's get this OBS back open that we can get this jumped off. Make this full screen. So now we ready to go. Ready to go. Welcome back to Sip the Tatter Presents. I'm Coach Evans, and we're doing our top 9 at 9. Today's a good Saturday. Wanted to talk wide receivers. Been getting a lot of suggestions on who to do film on for wide receivers, so I decided to do a top 9 at 9. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so let's get it. Starting off, number 9, Kelvin Harmon. Kelvin Harmon plays for NC State. As you can see, he's 6'3", 214 pounds, and his production in the ACC had 81 catches, 1,186 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Now, what I saw out of Kelvin was he was solid in all phases of the game. He's a okay to good route runner. He does catch with his hands. That's a good thing about him. He's not a body catcher. He does a good job of going up and fight for balls, those contested jump balls. To be a bigger receiver, he's not very fast, but he's fast enough where I didn't see anybody run him down from the back. So he may not outrun DB side by side and blow past people running go routes. But once he got behind people, I didn't see anybody catch him from behind, run him down, any of those things. So number 9 on my list is Kelvin Harmon. I don't have film on Kelvin Harmon on my channel, but there's a ton of film out there that use that broadcast view. I just tried not to use that for obvious reasons. People that other YouTubers know why. But again, number 9 on my list is Kelvin Harmon. Most people ask me on Twitter why I did a top 9 instead of a top 10, and I'll have to let them know that 9 is my favorite number. And so I just decided to do a top 9, and I was going to do it at 9 o'clock. So there you got top 9 at 9. Number 9, Kelvin Harmon. Let's go on and see who's going to be number 8. Play it a little bit. Number 8, Parris Campbell, Ohio State. 6'1", 208 pounds. He had 90 catches, 163 yards, 12 TDs. What I like about Parris is he's not your typical wide receiver. Parris Campbell caught balls out of the backfield, from the slot, and some outside. And the thing that stood out to me the most about Parris Campbell is he destroyed angles all the time. Parris Campbell is a speed guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the top 5 guys at the combine next week. As far as running that 40, he can go. And anytime you see him in space, when you watch film on him, he destroys angles. And blows past receivers, beats safeties, any routes that he ran or that he was a part of, even the swings out the backfield, he would destroy routes. And also, Parris was catching balls from probably the best quarterback in the draft also. So keep in mind when you look at these numbers from the 9 guys I have up here, they think about their quarterback, think about their conference. All right, so Kelvin Harmon was in the ACC, probably the 2nd or 3rd, maybe even 4th best conference in college football, and he put up decent numbers. Parris Campbell is from the Big 10, and they, in that 2nd, 3rd range as far as competition and whatnot. But Parris had the best quarterback throwing him the ball, and he did a lot of things from multiple positions. He's versatile, and I'm sure he can give somebody some value in the return game also. I didn't see him return kicks, but I didn't watch a lot of whole games. I watched maybe like one whole game and then some highlights. And what I saw from Parris was a lot of speed. All right, moving on to number 7. Number 7, Ridley. Let's talk about Ridley for a minute. Ridley is the younger brother of Calvin Ridley. We all know who Calvin is. Plays for the Falcons. Drafted last year, maybe 2 years ago. Not real sure what position he was drafted at. But Ridley is a guy that's full of grit. He's number 7 on my list. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He's had 44 catches for 570 yards and 9 TDs. And let's talk about his stats for a second. Only 44 catches, only 570 yards. You got to think about it. He plays in a running offense. And now I know Elijah Holyfield had 1,000 yards. I'm sure Swift had close to 1,000 yards. So he's not going to get a ton of catches to, like the Big 12 numbers and whatnot. So keep in mind he plays in the SEC, which is probably not probably, which is the toughest conference. And he put up okay numbers, average numbers. If he could do that as a rookie next year, that'd be great. He'd be borderline maybe rookie of the year if he put up 44 catches for right under 600 yards and 9 TDs. But Ridley is a guy that is he has good routes. He's one of the better route runners in this top 9 that I have. He's very physical off the line of scrimmage. He has good initial burst and can get off routes and get into it. He has very good short area quickness, and he's also a guy that's just physical. Guys that try to jam him up, sometimes he won't even use his feet and hands to get off jams. He'll just run through people and destroy him. He'll just push them off, then go run his route, whatever it is, stacking guys and getting open and whatnot. He catches the ball over the middle, so that's a plus. He's not afraid to do that, and he'll go up and make some of those spectacular ooh and ah catches. So on this list, Ridley is number 7, and for Georgia. But keep in mind, remember, look at the stats, look at the conference, look at the stats, and look at the conference. So 9 TDs in SEC is probably 18 in the Big 12, maybe even 20. So just keep that in mind as we go down this list. All right, next, number 6. Let's move on down to number 6. Who's number 6? Now I know I'm gonna get some flack about this one. About having DK at number 6. Now, let me say this about DK. Let me go to my notepad. What I have down is probably the best potential in this receiver draft class. I misspelled it. I'm sorry, DK. I'll correct that. It's CALF. I apologize. Charge to my head, not my heart. That should be a F. I apologize. So I'll correct it when this is over with. DK, 6'4", 230 pounds. 26 catches, only 26 catches, 559 yards, 5 TDs. Keep in mind, DK had a season-ending neck injury, so that's why his numbers are low, so to speak. But as far as best potential in the draft, this guy, matter of fact, let me go ahead and fix this because I don't want to have this out there and do that guy like that because I wouldn't want him to get my name wrong. Let me fix this. Give me 1 second. 1 second to fix this. I don't want to do you like that, DK. Now, here we go. There we go. Sorry, bro. If you ever see this, charge it to my head, not to my heart. All right, back to DK Metcalf. 6'4", 230 pounds. Now, a quick story about DK. My first year at school, one of my schools in Mississippi, our spring game was against his Oxford Chargers. I think that was the name of it. And so I'm coaching the receivers before they go out because they get the ball first. And I'm standing with my back to the sideline, and I hear a boop, boop, boop. I'm like, man, what is that? So I turn around, and this DK just running past everybody on like an 80-yard touchdown. But, that was my first introduction to DK, and he's been going up, ascending as far as talent since then. The only negative I have about DK is his injury. And his injuries are the reason he's number 6 on this list. He has the best potential of anybody because he's fast. I mean, he has top tier speed. He can jump. He catches the ball for the most part. He drops the ball. Let's just say he drops the ball. So that's another reason he's down. His drops and his injuries. But his first catch of college was a touchdown against Florida State. His second catch in college was another touchdown. His freshman year, he had 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and had a season-ending injury. Then come back his junior year, which was this year. He had 26 catches, was off to a good start. And if you go back and watch my other video with him against Greedy, he had some okay plays, but most of his stats came off lower end talent. so to speak. A lot of his stats didn't come against the SEC, and Greedy kind of shut him down. But still, with his frame, his attributes, I couldn't not put him on this list. Because if he gets in the league and stays healthy, this guy's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be awesome. But I couldn't put him up there because of his injury situation and whatnot. So I know I'm gonna get some flack about DK because a lot of people say DK is the best receiver in the draft. I personally don't think so. But normally I root for the Mississippi guys. I try to put him up there, but I'm trying to be fair also. But that's DK Metcalf, number 6 on our top 9 at 9. Let's move on to number 5. And I see a few things in the chat box. I'll get to them once I get on down a little bit. Number 5, N'Keal Harry. 6'4", 213, Arizona State. 73 catches, 1,088 yards, 9 TDs in the Pac-12. So we'll say Pac-12 is 3rd or 4th best conference. But when you play in not the number 1 conference, you need numbers like this. N'Keal 6'4", 213 pounds. He's a okay route runner. What I have for him, he's strong. He does a good job with the jump balls. And he has a huge catch radius. Huge. He can go up and get balls like he's rebounding at the YMCA or something. He goes up and gets a lot of bad throws, a lot of back shoulders, a lot of just jump balls. Like, look, you're better than this guy. But the thing about N'Keal is the kid can run. To be 6'4", 213 pounds, the kid doesn't run robotic like a Gronk or some of those guys. He has the ability to get in and out of breaks like some of those smaller receivers at 6'4", and that's a good thing for him. He's not the greatest route runner, but he can change directions enough to get open in the NFL and go get some things. Now he needs to find ways to become a better route runner and get separation because the DBs he's going to play against are not Pac-12 now? Pac-12 DBs. So, but I like N'Keal. I can't wait to see what he runs next week. He is number 5 on my top 9 at 9. And again, I have a N'Keal Harry video. If you want to go check that out, once this is over, I'll put a little slide out thing where they come out and I'll do that or whatnot. If not, just go to my channel and look for N'Keal Harry. All right. Again, I see you in the chat box. I'll get to you in a sec. Let's go down to number 4. See who's number 4. Deebo Samuel. I enjoyed watching Deebo Samuel at the Senior Bowl. He impressed me a lot. I went back and watched tape on Deebo. I actually did a film on Deebo. And the things I saw from him, I really like out of a slot receiver. I don't think he's going to be an outside guy. I think he's going to be a slot receiver. Deebo, 6 feet, 210, 62 catches, 882 yards, 11 TDs. Deebo's versatile. He can be a slot guy that will be one of those bigger slot guys. He won't be a small Wes Welker type guy. He'll be a guy that can get you some middle of the field yardage. And especially if you got a decent tight end on the other side, he can work that other hash and work those in and out breaks, those 5-yard outs, those curl routes, things like that. And then he can get you run out the catch because he's like a running back once he gets the ball. And you can tell that if you look at his highlights on his kick returns. He does a good job of stopping on the dime, cutting on the dime, and going different directions, making people miss. He's more quick than fast, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, if you're right in front of him, he can make you miss. But if you guys get side by side, he ain't a burner. He's not gonna get caught from the back, but he's not a burner like Parris Campbell. He's not a burner like that. But he can get the job done, and he give you return value. He does a good job of catching the ball. He's tough. He's gritty. He's a guy that just balls, man. He's a baller. That's what he's a baller. He's a gamer. When his team needs him, he got up and did what he had to do. Especially playing with Hurst last year, he was able to be a good compliment to Hurst and do some things to get his name in the spotlight this year, his senior year, and he was able to transfer that into a Senior Bowl appearance. And he didn't disappoint at the Senior Bowl. Did a good job of using his hands, good job of winning versus DBs that he will see next year. And his Senior Bowl footage is what got him to be number 4 on my list. Because South Carolina didn't have a great season, but what he did when he played against some of the top tier seniors at that week in Mobile, I was impressed. I liked it. If you have not seen it, go to Voch Lombardi channel. He has pretty much all the Senior Bowl coverage that they had. He has linked on there somewhere. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. You can kind of see some of the things that I liked about Deebo Samuel. All right. And the fact he had 11 touchdowns in the SEC. Keep in mind now, I'm stressing the SEC. He put up these numbers in the SEC. So if you take this to the Big 12, Pac-12, I put him right at maybe close to 90 catches, maybe 1,200 yards. But, you know, SEC is a lot tougher. It's a lot tougher. So I kind of bump people's value up based off that with their numbers if they play in the SEC. All right, let's go to number 3. Top three. Marquise Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown. Oklahoma Sooners. Cat has speed to burn. It's gonna. I really want to say he's gonna be one of the top speed guys at 40 guys in the combine. This cat, he runs speed sweeps, outruns people. He runs post route in the middle of the field, outruns people. He runs goal routes on the outside, outruns people. And when he runs his short to intermediate routes, he shows a bit of a nuance about it. So he can whop, and then go left or set you up and break in and break out and do stuff like that out of the slot. Marquise can be a slot guy for you, which he probably will be a slot guy in the NFL. But then if you put your 2 big guys on one side and put him over there by himself, he can, if he get the mismatch, he can go. He can go because he'll run past corners. He'll run past NFL corners. I can almost guarantee you that. And he definitely, if he get in the middle of the field in like a cover 2 look, he'll split that also. So the only negative I maybe see on Marquise is he's 5'10", 168 pounds. If he doesn't have the footwork, the foot fire and the hands to get off the ball from the line of scrimmage, that may be a problem from him. But if he can get off the ball, this cat, it's gonna be that deal. If guys can't put hands on him and slow him down, he's gonna be that deal. And look at his stats. He's 5'10", 168 pounds. In the Big 12, which is probably the best. Big 12 is probably the best offensive conference. I think we can all agree to that. He's 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 1,318 yards, 10 TDs. Marquise Hollywood Brown. They say he's a cousin of AB. I ain't gonna doubt him. What he got a lot for? If he is, he got some good pedigree in him. And next year he's gonna make some team a pretty good pick because he has return value also. He can return kicks, return punts, and do things like that on special teams. All right. Into our top 2. Now, I'm going to give you this about my top 2 picks. Number 2 was number 1 for about 2 weeks while I was thinking about doing this. Next guy I'm about to show you was number 1 on my list for when I thought about doing this 2 weeks ago. He was number 1 all the way up until the end. Number 2, A.J. Brown, Ole Miss. Again, I have a quick A.J. Brown story. I coached against him while he was at high school in Starkville. He was the only receiver that I know that could change the game by himself. And let me explain what I mean. If you play off of A.J., they could throw him a quick screen or just a regular hitch, and he could beat you there. If you pressed him, guys didn't stand a chance because he had the wherewithal to use his hands and feet and just beat him from the line of scrimmage and then get open there. And once he caught it, he was like a running back. Okay, so if you double him, he still would run like slants and little quick end routes just to get the ball. Then would pie face the DB and outrun guys and run over guys. And it didn't matter what you did to him. You almost had to commit 3 guys to him if you wanted to stop him. But keep him out on the other side of the field, he had a guy that was like 6'2", 6'3", that was not as good as him, but pretty darn good also. And so this guy right here, he's been awesome to me since the day I saw him and the day he did us wrong and beat the crap out of us. But A.J. Brown's my number 2 guy. He's 6'1", he's 230 pounds, and just think about this. He's in the SEC, 85 catches, 1,300 yards in the SEC. So I don't care what people say about projected stats, and he has the potential to do this and things right now. This cat had 85 catches and 1,300 yards in the SEC, the best conference, which is mostly a running conference. And he had 3 other potential two other potential NFL receivers on his team. Because AJ's gonna get drafted, DK's gonna get drafted, and I can't think. And Hodge is probably gonna get drafted maybe day 2 or 3. So he had 3 NFL receivers on his team, and he still got 85 catches, 1,300 yards. Now, what I love about AJ is whatever team he goes to, you're gonna get a guy that can catch anything. Anything. One hand, two hand, high point, back shoulder, low, high, to the right, to the side. The guy can get it. The guy got massive hands. Massive hands. And as another little nugget that you may not know, AJ was one of the few guys, I think Kyler Murray did it recently, to play in the Under Armour football game and baseball game. So he's that type of athlete. But AJ has what I consider dog in him. You try to tackle him, he's gonna fight you for every yard, tooth and nail. He just look at him. And he's gotten bigger. You saw him on the picture with DK. AJ's a dog. He's a competitor. He don't like to lose. He fights for every ball. He may fight you if something happens like that. But he's a good kid. Always, everything I've heard from Starkville, he's a respectable kid. And recently I've seen some stuff about his school on social media, and he's been the one leading the charge to try to bring everybody together, because what's going on up there right now is sad. It's you know, but this is football, so let's stick to football. What I was going to say about the team that's getting AJ, he can play. If you have a number 1 receiver, he's a great complement to be the number 2. If you have 2 decent receivers, he's a great complement to be your slot guy. The thing with AJ is he can do it all. He plays slot because he had 2 other receivers on his team that were outside guys that could not play slot. So that's why he's a slot receiver. So don't get it twisted thinking that this guy's just a slot guy and that's why he did all that. He's not an outside go-to receiver. He plays slot for his team. He sacrificed that glory outside position for his team. So that's what he did. This guy can pretty much play whatever receiver position you want to. Whatever. And again, I said this guy was my number 1 for 2 whole weeks until I popped in this tape today. I popped in this tape today, and I'm not going to change it just yet. And I watched the highlight first. And when I was watching the highlight, I was like this. And with every passing play, I was like, no, he didn't catch that. Yeah, he did. Oh, man, wow. No, he didn't catch that. Oh, crap, he caught that for real. So I said I had to go find whole games to see if he could run routes, to see if, because highlight tapes will fool you sometimes. And so I went and found a couple whole games, and I saw that he could run routes. He's not the greatest route runner, but he run them good enough to get open. I saw that he didn't mind blocking, which I personally love, and those that know me know I love guys that block. I'm a stickler for blocking. I'm the guy that no block, no rock. So, but that's me. And so, but this guy was not even on my list until today. My number 1 guy. I don't see anybody saying who they think it is in the chat box, but this guy was not even on my list until today. My number 1 receiver and top 9 at 9. My top receiver. My first top 9 at 9. I'm just going to play it. And I'm going to let you drum roll. Boom. Hakeem Butler. Man, this cat can get it. This cat can go. I'm telling you. Look at that. Just look at that catch. Man, as a receiver coach, you can't even but smile at that. That's awesome. That is, man. And somebody, I don't remember who it is that's been on all my videos telling me to do Hakeem Butler. And I never did get around to it and just, I don't know why I was overlooking it. And maybe because I don't want to use the broadcast view, because YouTubers know what that happened. So I got a bunch of all 22, but I don't have all 22 of them on offense. I have it on defense, but I can't use. So that's why you haven't gotten a Butler video. But by God, I'm finna try to find a way to get it done. This cat is 6'6", 225 pounds, has 60 catches, only 60 catches for 1,320 yards. Remember, AJ had 85 for 1,320 yards. This cat has 60 catches for 1,318 yards. His yards per catch, 22 yards per catch. Bruh. 22. Every time, average of every catch, he caught 22 yards. This dude, he can run routes, obviously, because I said that earlier. He don't mind blocking. I really enjoyed that. He was getting after folks. Don't mind blocking. Hands. He was a hands catcher. He wasn't a big a cradler, if so to speak. He was a hands catcher. And the highlights of his one hand catches this year had me salivating. Whoever his receiver coach was, I know he just was sitting back. Throw it to Hakeem. 3rd and 8 on the 18-yard line. Throw it to Hakeem. He'll catch it. 2nd and 2 from the goal line. They can't run it in. Throw the fade, coach. He got it. Going to get it. And it was awesome. He looked like a slower, I'll give you that. A slower Randy Moss. The kid can get it. I was sleeping on him. So I guess you could say I slept on him. I slept on Hakeem Butler until about 9 o'clock this morning. I slept on him. And I was laying there and watching that film. I was like, what have I been missing? So my first top 9 at 9, the number one receiver, Hakeem Butler. 6'6", 225 pounds. I saw something on YouTube that said he was the LeBron of football. I wouldn't go that far. LeBron could do that too. Now, you don't get it twisted. LeBron could do that and probably do it better. But this is my number one guy. Let's get in this chat box and see what's going on. Let me widen it out a little bit so I can see. I'm going to leave it on Hakeem Butler so everybody know who my number one guy is. I messed that up. Here we go. Let's pop that on in. See what we're talking about in this chat box. Alright. Let's see. I heard he's going low first. I don't know who we're talking about at the time. LeBron could do it at 250. Yeah, but LeBron's like 280. Will Hakeem Butler get to 22? Maybe not. The Ravens may not value him like I do. Now he does have to build up speed. I will give him that. He's not a burner. It takes him 4, 5, 6 yards to get up to speed and do the things he does. Yes, he is faster down the field. Yep, I agree with that. 100%. So I guess who's that? William saying Hakeem Butler is a can't miss prospect. No, you can't put that on anybody back. Everybody has flaws and you know the money may get to them, the freedom may get to them, the responsibility of being responsible for what goes in their body may get to them. Nobody's a can't miss prospect. Nobody in the league, nobody coming out of the league is can't miss these days, because you see the guys from Clemson got suspended just for saying for taking something that the kids gave them. So, but it is what it is. See who up there. Bills should get him. The Bills need some of everything. They need a lot of everything. Oh, we do have a film. Hey, point it out to me, Vash, and let me know which one it is, and I get on that probably tomorrow or Monday. So I will drop the video. Andy Isabella. I'm glad somebody brought that up. Andy Isabella at the Senior Bowl rubbed me the wrong way by doing too much. And what I mean by doing too much, he would make fakes, and Vashi talked about this before. He'd make fakes with nobody there. So he'd be pop on a route, and the guy's playing off man. Why are you doing all that? Just run your route. If it's an out, run it right now. If it's an in cut, run it right now. If it's a post, run it. You ain't got to do all that the whole time. Anybody got time for that? The quarterback gonna be sacked by now. And yeah, he may be fast. I think he's more quick than fast, and I talked about that earlier. I think he has a real good short area quickness. But I don't know if he can make it. And I'm probably finna make some of y'all mad at me, but it's another guy I like. A slot guy I like better than Andy Isabella. I mean, he played for that team in Orange. I think he got 2 national championship rings. And I ain't gonna call his name because Bosch may get mad at me saying he ain't gonna get drafted. But I know the Lieutenant Dan like him. So Hunter Renfrow. I'd rather have Hunter Renfrow on my team than Andy Isabella. Hunter Renfrow gonna catch it. Have you not heard the phrase third and Hunter or third and Renfrow? You know what that means. Yeah, he gonna throw it to I knew Bosch was yeah. But let's talk about Penny from what was that, Georgia State? I like Penny from Georgia State. He did good at the Senior Bowl. He did he got open, beat guys on one-on-ones, did good in the 7-on-7 part that I could see. And you know, the game was kind of boring. The practice was what I liked. The practices were what I liked. The game was meh. Whatever. The game was what it was. But the practices are where you see guys get after it and display their skills. Because the game is an all-star game. The guys don't have them 3 practices not enough to get timing down they need to be effective. So that's why your practices are where they at. But let's get another question. What wide receiver can go in the second round? Everybody on this list. Nobody's got to none of these receivers just blow you off the chart and got to be a first round pick. I think Hakeem Butler's the best one. I don't think he's gonna get drafted first. I think somebody's gonna jump out there and get Hollywood Brown first because of his deep balls and you know opening up for their run game. I think Hollywood Brown, DK, and AJ gonna get drafted for Hakeem Butler. But what I saw today out of Hakeem Butler, I was amazed. And I can't wait to go back and watch that film and see whole games out of him, especially from the all 22 view. Should we trade Jimmy for a second round? That's tough. You think Tavon can hold up on the outside, Corey? Do you really think Tavon can hold up on the outside? I know we paid Tavon a nice little chunk of change the other day. So, but I think we got to have a second round pick some kind of way. We got to get a second round pick. I know we got the third round pick through the compensatory draft, and that makes us having 8 picks. But I think we need a second round pick some way, and to keep that 22. I don't know how DeCosta's gonna work it. This is his first draft. We really don't know. He's an Ozzie protege, but you know he could kind of want to do his own thing and go from there. But our best bet is to move back. I like being at 22. I like that spot. Unless we're gonna move back and get something in the first and something in the second. I'll jump on that train. We move back to like 30 and get, you know, have that pick and a second round pick, or somebody give us two twos for that 22. That sounds like a Jay-Z song. 22 twos. But if we get 2 twos for the 22nd pick, I take that. How I keep Tavon in the slot, make Marlon step up to be Marvin already is the number 1. Jimmy's not number 1 anymore. Marlon is our number 1 guy. Marlon is the guy that shut down the better receivers toward the end of the year. So in my mind, Marlon's number 1. But you know, you missed the bottom 5. It's up there. I'll run back through it in a second, Jimmy. Just hold tight for a minute. I run back through it, and I just made a little video, and I just let that play, and you'll get the whole recap. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes. Let me keep interacting with this chat box, Jimmy, and I'll hook you up. But Avery, Avery's from Alabama, I think, right? I need to see more about Avery to say, you know, to want to cut Jimmy. But I know we need that money because I want to keep. I think we should keep Mosley. I don't want to see Mosley get away from us. I think we can find somebody to replace Za'Darius, even though I like Za'Darius. But I think we need Mosley to keep him around. So cutting Jimmy, if we have to cut Jimmy, I hate it because Jimmy's been valuable to us in the past, but he has been hurt a lot. And go from there. All right, question. I think Brown's purely a slot. What skills of his separate him from other slot receivers? Hollywood Brown. No, what he said. Which Brown? Hollywood Brown or AJ Brown? Which one, Vacha? Let me know. Hollywood Brown, AJ Brown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, AJ Brown. AJ. All right. I think AJ can do it all. I think he only played slot because he got those guys that could not. I think DK couldn't play slot, or Hodge was a better outside person. So I think he played that to fit the team. But him in the slot, he could be a monster in the slot because of his size and his catch radius and the things he can do. So as what would separate him from other slot receivers, size. You also have to catch. Because let's just say compare AJ Brown to your guy. What's your guy at the Texas at the Cowboys? I can't think his name. What's your slot guy in the Cowboys? Number 11, or whatever his name is. Vach. Anyway, just compare those two guys to like him, AJ, or Wes Beasley. Yeah, Cole Beasley. AJ and Cole Beasley. AJ he's bigger than Cole Beasley. I'd be willing to bet he's faster than Cole Beasley. Now, Cole may be quicker than him, but AJ can catch anything. So it's basically you taking a small tight end and having him in the slot, so to speak. And once he gets the ball, he's not going to be that. Like Beasley may get tackled once he get the ball. He probably, if he makes about a miss, so to speak, but in a crowd, he's going to get tackled. AJ might get out of that crowd because he's a little bull once he gets the ball in his hand. And if playing him in the slot, that's where his value is in the NFL, which I think it would be his best bet to play the slot. But he needs to get on a team that has somebody opposite of him. So because I don't think anybody in this draft is maybe a number one right now. Maybe they can develop into a number one, but as far as right now, I don't think any receivers are number one. So AJ in the slot is a bigger version of what the smaller slot guys do in the NFL right now, like the Wes Welkers, the Cole Beasleys, the little guy from New England that used to be the quarterback. I forget his name because I don't like the Patriots. But that's what AJ will get you in the slot. And if he need to go outside, he can do it because he can catch anything. He run routes. AJ is what you like you said. He a nuanced route runner. All right. Lil Jordan Humphries. Now, the first time somebody mentioned him to me, I thought they were saying like Lil Jordan from around the block. Lil Jordan, they be stealing the candy. That dude, Lil Jordan. Did not know that was that guy's real name. But he didn't make the top 10 list, but I do know about him. He's a taller guy that I don't necessarily think he's a slot guy though. I think he's an outside guy that can run okay routes, not a slot guy. Let's make a deal. We signed Terrell Matthews to pass rush. Butler, would you do it? Also, I Jaleel Scott for that player already. Let's talk about Jaleel Scott and Jordan Lashley for a second. I really want to see them two guys succeed, man. We drafted those guys. They didn't get any burn last year at all. Now, I know one of them was hurt and one of them was on the practice squad all year. But I really hope the receiver coach we got now can develop those guys. And we don't have to spend a boatload of money on receivers. I really don't. I'm tired of signing these old receivers that's in the declining years of their playing time. I want us to draft somebody young either this time or develop those two guys we got and go from there. Because we got 3.5 great tight ends in my mind. So draft a receiver and go from there and keep our defense up where it's at. Clock. Nice to see you, Clock. Are you concerned with Butler's drops? Yes. And no. Because if Hakeem drops one ball a game, let's say he drops one ball every game, that's 16 drops. But if he makes catches, he makes 2 catches like what you see on that screen right there. We don't care about those drops. Not at all. Not at all. He could drop one ball every game, which I don't think he will, because he'll have more time to work on his craft. He won't have to worry about going to class. He won't have to worry about keeping his GPA up. He's football. And if when football is your job, if you can't get better at your craft, you don't deserve to be there. If you are strictly football, like you got to eat to catch these balls, he gonna get better at his craft. At least that's the way I take it. If I know I can feed my family, if I can feed myself, my mom, my dad, my kids, and maybe even my kids' kids, maybe even my kids, I'm gonna get off my butt and do the things I need to do for that. All right. Can Darrell Henderson be a 3-down back? I don't think Darrell can pass pro. I don't think he's big enough to pass pro like the NFL would need him to. It depends on what team he go to. I like Darrell as a runner and a pass catcher out of the backfield, but I don't know if he can pass pro the way he needs to be in the NFL. But as far as a runner, and I think he's a 3rd down guy. I definitely think he's a 3rd down guy. Is Peanut a unrestricted free agent or restricted? I don't know. Supercharger. I don't know if he's somebody. Corey answered you. Okay. I just ran through the video. Why are 8 of your 9 guys physical? Because I like physical receivers. That's why. Don't come over here with that mess, man. You know I like when people get physical. You already know that. I like physical receivers. Get you some. No block, no rock. But, hey, that's me. All right. Plus, Butler have a better QB in the NFL. Yeah, he will. He probably will. We hope, unless he go to the Bills or something like that. Then he can have a. I'm glad you brought up David Seals. I did not know David Seals. I was doing some research on David Seals. He got an offer to play quarterback at USC as an 8th grader. So he was committed to USC his 8th grade year, 9th grade year, sophomore and junior year. And then when Lane Kiffin left, he left. And committed to West Virginia as a quarterback. And I don't think he played one game at quarterback for West Virginia. Seals is a sneaky good dude. Seals is a guy that is gonna have a long, productive, not superstar-ish, but a long, productive NFL career. I like Seals. I really do. I really like Seals. Now, another guy that I really like, but didn't make this list, is Deutsch. I think that's his name. Deutsch is from Wake Forest. That kid cut up against Florida State and some other cats. Deutsch can run route. Now Deutsch is a nuanced route runner. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he is a nuanced route runner. He can go up in high point balls and man, I like that dude. I really do. I really do. He was borderline that number 9 spot for me. I really like Deutsch. Those Ohio State guys, I don't know how good they are, because if you look at a lot of their tape, that quarterback is putting the ball on the money. I mean, on the money. And I put Parris on here, because Parris can just run away from people. But looking at their tape, that boy puts the ball on the money. I don't know what Stephen A. Smith was talking about. He's more of a runner than a passer. Stephen A. Smith, he talking bad for the Brewers. He need to get his stuff together. But their quarterback is awesome. Their quarterback is awesome. They put the balls where they need to be, and a lot of guys caught balls in stride. So that's why I'm kind of sleeping on the Ohio State guys a little bit, because their quarterback was so good, and a lot of these other guys played with not good quarterbacks. Terry had a great Senior Bowl. He didn't stand out to me, so that's why I didn't put him on here. I didn't see enough of him to say, hey, I need to go check this guy out. But since you're talking about him and you my guy, I'll check him out. Parris Campbell, I know Parris is fast. East Camden for life. Can Greedy Williams go in the low first round or high second? I think Greedy may be the first cornerback taken. Anywhere from 7 to 13. Greedy when he wants to be, and that's the key. And that maybe drop him down to the low first or second. That when he wants to be is a top-notch corner. When he has to play ball, when he doesn't have to be motivated. Like if you watch the film I did with him and DK, Greedy was on it. Didn't let DK get much of nothing. DK had like 2-3 catches. He was all over him, talking noise, just in his grill. But then later on in the year, guys will start beating Greedy. I don't know if he got hurt, got tired, got unenthused. But when he played top-tier talent, Greedy got after it. But if you're a competitor, you do that. Do you love the game of football to play like that every week, though? So that's Greedy can go from 6 or 7 all the way up into the second round. It depends on, what he does at the combine and how people evaluate his tape. but I like Greedy. We don't need a corner, but I like Greedy. All right. Anyone else wants to draft Cody Ford? Cody Ford not getting to us. Vosh did a video, said Cody Ford was his best O lineman. Cody Ford was the second video I did, and I did him second because I thought he was the best O lineman back then. Cody Ford not getting to us. No way possible. Let's see. 2 years from now, Justin Ross is going to be a Julio clone. You're right. Let's see. Claypool from Notre Dame is pretty physical. Yeah, I heard their receivers are physical, and I saw a couple games with them, but they weren't. They didn't jump out enough to me to crack this top 9. And I see, I saw a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of receivers out there because of the way the NFL is going and the way the college game going. So it's a ton of guys out there, and I'm sure it's somebody that I may have missed or haven't seen yet, or just hadn't stood out to me yet. But that's what this is about. This is my opinion. I suggest you go do your own research and have your top 9, and I, let me know when. I'll come watch it and get in your chat box and talk about it too. What do you think of Rocky Ya-Sin? Love him. I love Rocky Ya-Sin. He had a great Senior Bowl. He was competing. He was physical. He was those taller receivers. He wasn't letting them just jump up there and catch the ball. He was getting after it. He was getting after it. And to be a D2 or whatever the small school he was at before he got to Temple, and then come in the spring and get one of those single digit numbers, because they didn't give single digit numbers to unless you earned them. And he earned one in the spring because he was a graduate transfer, and he went to the Senior Bowl and made him some money. Congratulations, Rocky Ya-Sin. You about to be paid, buddy. And I don't think you're going first round, but you're about to be paid and probably going to be have you a long, nice NFL career. What about Ingram? Leave Ingram alone. We don't want Ingram. We got Ingram. We got him. His name is Gus Edwards. Leave Ingram where he at. We have Ingram. His name is Gus Edwards. The younger version of him. Younger version. Now, if you want Alvin Kamara, I'll take that guy. Ingram can stay where he at. Alvin Kamara, come. Ingram, who that? All right. Let's see what else. What else we got in this chat box? Still talking about Rocky Ya-Sin. Late rounds. Tevin Coleman. The only Tevin Coleman I know is the guy for Atlanta. Is he a free agent also? Tevin Coleman can catch the ball at the backfield too. So Tevin Coleman's versatile. That's good. Get me Harmon from Georgia, running back. Yeah, Hartman. Yeah, Mr. Evans. Your thoughts on Greg Jennings from West Virginia? Wasn't Greg at the Senior Bowl also? Greg was at the Senior Bowl also? I think so. And he had an okay Senior Bowl. Nothing really stood out to me about him. I don't think he's one of the top tier guys. But again, he had one of those good quarterbacks that was putting the ball in the money. Because Greer went to West Virginia and turned into a different human being. Greer was dropping dimes left and right. I don't know if it was he couldn't handle the competition in the SEC, or he just had those off the field problems in the SEC at Florida. But he went to West Virginia and reinvented himself is the word. He went up there and had some decent receivers, and they got after it, especially Seals and Jennings. They did a lot of good things up there in West Virginia. I don't think they played in the defense though, but they did a lot of good things offensively. For my guy that asked earlier, let me pause for a second to get me a little drink break. I'm going to run this back and let him see the entire 9. It's probably going to take like 2 minutes maybe, and let him see it. So let's jump into it so he can see the full top 9. He said he missed the top 5. Let's run through it real quick. All right. I'm just going to let it play and move my chat box a little bit so he can see that. Make that smaller. Run it for him real quick. Here we go. Number 9 was Kevin Harmon. I'm coming back, chat box. Give me a minute. Let me do this for my guy. 8, Parris Campbell. Ridley, 7. DK Metcalf, 6. N'Keal Harry, 5. Deebo Samuel, 4. Marquise Brown, 3. A.J. Brown 2. And Hakeem Butler 1. That's my top 9 at 9. If you missed it earlier, was not here, didn't get a chance to get here. My top 9. Going back to the chat box for about another 5 to 10 minutes. I see somebody say Deebo Samuels. Do you have a question about Deebo Samuels or what? Just what? What's your question, Corey? Last name, Coach Preston Williams. I don't know that one, Vach. I don't know that one. He hadn't done enough. I hadn't come across him in my wide receiver study of this year. Who does Preston pay for? And I'll make sure I go check him out. But are you asking about Deebo Samuels, Corey? Deebo is a dog also. Deebo, he gives you value in the return game. I check him out and I'll DM you an answer on that, or I'll just talk to you about it on Twitter. But I don't know Preston Williams right now. I'll go and check him out probably later on. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I don't know. that conduct policy. It may not be good for him. You know what? Since we speaking on conduct policy, let me change subjects for a minute. What y'all think gonna happen to Robert Kraft? This man been the long-standing good guy in the NFL. He get on stage with Cardi B one time, start hanging out with Meek Mill, and now look what happened to him. Man, come on now. He started hanging out with rappers, on stage dancing with Cardi B, and they got it. At least they say they got it. I ain't gonna speak on it because in our world today, stuff they put out information too fast without getting all the facts. So I just noticed that he was on stage with Cardi B, him and Meek Mill, buddy, and now hey, got a warrant for it. Hey, you need to come talk to us at the station, Mr. Kraft. We need you down here and Fort Lauderdale for. Talk to us a little bit. All right. But back to the chat box. And gun on the seat guys not good for anybody to watch. We don't, the NFL gonna stay off them guys hard. You see, they didn't invite our boy Jeffrey Simmons to the combine for the thing he did in high school. So anything on any negative thing in your history, they gonna be skeptical of it, especially after the way Greg Hardy burnt them and other situations. But I will go check him out and see if he's a guy that may warrant somebody taking a chance at gun under the seat guy. If I was being out here, hey, no comment. I'm Eric. No comment. AJ Brown pro comparison. When the video stops, I don't like to do that either. I don't like to compare nobody to somebody. I want AJ to be the best AJ. And sometimes some people compare coming in players to current and past players, and it makes sense. But I personally don't like to do it. But since you're making me do it, his college comparison when he first got there was Laquan Treadwell, which wore number 1 at Ole Miss also was going out as AJ was coming in. But his pro comparison, because he's probably going to stay in the slot, would be probably a younger Anquan Bolden. I think. A younger Anquan Bolden. What you think about that one, Jimmy Dean? A younger Anquan Bolden for A.J. Brown. Play like an old... No, he don't, Box man. He don't play like no old lad Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald still balling. But he just can't run like Fitzgerald got straight line routes now. Or real quick routes. He ain't running no in cuts. He ain't running no curls at 12 or 15. Larry getting a hitch right now, or a post, or a screen. He ain't doing nothing else. But Larry's a baller still also. Does Deebo have a chance to be a first round pick? I don't think so. Because enough receivers are not going to go off the board enough for him to be taken in the first round. I don't think it's maybe but 1 or 2 receivers going to go off the board in the first round. And I don't think, I think Deebo would be the 5th or 6th guy, and I think he'll be Deebo may even be round 3, honestly, because so many teams have so many other needs because the receivers have been piling up because of the change of play. But he'll get a chance. A run on receivers late will help anybody out because there's so many talented guys. I didn't realize how many okay to good receivers were in this draft, but there's a ton of them, and a lot of them, all of them not gonna get drafted. Like the guy I like, Hunter Renfrow, like I was probably not gonna get drafted, but I like him. And Isabella's out there. I think he's probably a day 2, if even a day 3 guy. Depending on what that 4. Now if he goes to come out and run that 4.3, everything I said gonna go out the window because people gonna want him. But you know, his all that extra stuff he did is I just didn't like it in his route running. Is Marquise going in the first round? Possibly. I think Marquise might be the first receiver off the board. I got Hakeem Butler as my number 1 in this video, but I think Marquise is the guy that everybody talents because of his speed and his route running and the things he can do. He can be jet sweep guy. He can be a slot receiver to get the in and outs, the disco routes, or he can get a mismatch and go and beat your linebacker down the seam or something like that. I saw some plays at Oklahoma, they lined him up in the backfield. They had the regular running back on one side of Kyler Murray and Brown on the other side. They motion Brown out the backfield, and depending on who covered him, that's where they went. So if you have him back there and you run him out wide and let a linebacker run out there with him, so what? It's a wrap. It's 4:30. But I think not AJ. Marquise is probably gonna be the first receiver taken. I personally like AJ, but I think he's gonna be the first receiver taken. Carlo, what's that? Iron Addict. How do you feel about Boston College's Chris Lindstrom? Chris Lindstrom is Voch Lombardi's son. You'll see Voch in the chat box. He loves Chris Lindstrom. And a quick story about we were talking about Chris Lindstrom one day. Actually, we were talking about what's my D tackle from Miami? I'm losing. I can't think of his name. We got a D tackle from Miami Hurricanes that I like, and Voch was talking about how he just would destroy people with controlled chaos. Gerald Willis, I just appreciate it. Gerald Willis, and Voch was saying how he would destroy people, and he didn't do anything versus Boston College. And so I think about it. That was Chris Lindstrom, and he was like, "You right." So Chris Lindstrom neutralized one of the better D tackles, 3 techs in the draft, and just erased him. And I like Chris. I think Chris was gonna have one of those long careers. Probably not a lot of accolades, but he's gonna be in the league for a good 13, 14 years, and gonna make himself a nice, good living. Probably be a day 2 pick, because he just don't have the name. A lot of well, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say a lot of those guys don't watch as much film as some of us, but they do. That would be me just throwing a shot out there, but they watch film. They probably watch more than us, honestly, because they don't have a day job. I do. So, but Chris Lindstrom I think he's a quality O lineman. He's gonna be a good guard for somebody after that run of Cody Ford and who else? The Taylor from Florida and Pierce Brocker and all those named guys come off the board. Lindstrom will be there, and he's gonna be a good pickup for somebody. The Ravens need a guard, and hey, he's there. JB, what you know about Voch? JB Smooth, did you know Voch played for me? So all that knowledge you say he's what's that, a unicorn? That's a goat. Whatever that is, all that knowledge he got it from me and about 6 other guys that I run with. Chris is going to give a good team. I agree with you, Joseph. He's going to give somebody some great value. Chris Lindstrom. Well, how long we been on this joint? Oh, right at an hour. Hey, that's about the time I want it. Again, guys, make sure if hit the like button for me, please. If you have not subscribed, make sure you go do that. Give us look at all those other videos I have. They're up under 2019 draft videos. Make sure you go check those out for me. Share the videos with your friends. Talk about them. Share them on Twitter. I don't care. Hey, the more the merrier. Probably when this video over with, I'll be at 1,100 subscribers. Yeah, for me. Pushing this thing on up slowly but surely. I appreciate it. Hey, follow my homeboy too if you like all this other draft content. Voch Lombardi, he go hard with it. He kind of got me. He got me in the game, and I have a blast doing this for you guys. I appreciate it. And hit the Patreon too. Got a Patreon. It's patreon.com/sip to tally, using the number 2, not the word 2. Hit that up also. And my thoughts on Nas was that Adderley, the second best safety in the draft, or the third best, second best or third best. But he has my favorite play of this highlight season. He had a kick return, ran over the guy, looked at it, went and scored. That's my thoughts on Nas Adderley. Again, guys, I appreciate you guys coming out. Hit me on Twitter. It's all that's been scrolling at the bottom. Coach Evans now on Twitter. On Instagram, Sip the Tally. Shortly, I'm probably going to change the name of my YouTube channel to Sip the Tally. I also got some shirts from that I got coming out. So if you need one, holler at your boy. I got you. Holler at your boy. I got you. And again, this is Coach Evans, Sip the Tally. I'm out. Peace.